Have you ever felt unsure about how many monitors you can hook up to your MacBook? Maybe you've wondered, is it really just one external display for my shiny new M1 Air? Or can my M1 Pro actually power three or more screens? If that's ever crossed your mind, you're in the right place. Today, I'm taking you on a quick journey through how Apple Silicon Macs, from M1 to M3, handle multi-screen setups, and how you might even break past Apple's official limits. I started by looking at Apple's official statement. For Macs with only two Thunderbolt ports, like the M1 or M2 MacBook Air, one external display is the limit. They say it can go up to 6K resolution, but that's it, just a single monitor. For the M1 or M2 MacBook Pro with three Thunderbolt ports, Apple claims two external displays. And if you have the high-end Max chip models, M1M, 2M3 Max, you can push even further, but let's be honest, I couldn't afford those, so I won't cover them in detail here. But do we really have to stop at one or two displays on the more affordable Macs? I got curious, and that's where our story begins. I've discovered a few ways to stretch those limits. Let's dive in. Imagine I've got a 2022 MacBook Pro with the M1 Pro chip. It has three Thunderbolt, four ports, plus one HDMI port. By the book, that means two external monitors, right? But I wanted more. Specifically, I wanted to run three external displays. My 27-inch LG 4K monitor, a 12.9-inch M1 iPad Pro, and a 2017 MacBook Air, all at once. Here's how I tackled it. I plugged in an HDMI cable from my MacBook Pro's HDMI port to the LG monitor. Easy, no trick here. Now we're at one external screen. Next, I used Sidecar to connect my iPad Pro. People hear AirPlay and think wireless only, but guess what? You can hardwire it with a Thunderbolt USB-C cable if you want a more stable connection. Either way, it doesn't use up your Mac's external monitor slot. So I'm still free to connect more monitors if needed. Now it's time to connect my 14-inch M1 MacBook Pro to an older MacBook Air. This part's trickier. If you want the old Mac to function as a display, Apple's native approach is AirPlay to Mac. But that creates black bars at the top and bottom, and sometimes I notice cursor lag when it's wireless. If you prefer a direct wired approach, you'll need a Thunderbolt 2 cable, because older Macs use Thunderbolt 2 plus a Thunderbolt 3-to-2 adapter. This helps with lag, but still doesn't fix the black bar issue. So, how do we solve it completely? Luna Display. Think of Luna Display like a display extension kit for your Mac. It's a tiny dongle that sits in your Mac's Thunderbolt port. You install the Luna Display apps on both machines. You connect them via cable, or even Wi-Fi or Ethernet, but I prefer wired for near-zero latency. And voila! You get a clean, high-resolution extension with no black bars. It does count as an external monitor, though. Keep that in mind. By combining HDMI for the LG monitor, Sidecar for the iPad, and Luna Display for the older MacBook Air, I managed to run three external screens, plus the MacBook Pro's built-in display for a total of four. Not too shabby. At this point, you might ask, could I still connect another monitor on top of all that? That's the million-dollar question. We'll circle back to that in a second. Now, let's turn to a more modest Mac. The M1 MacBook Air with two Thunderbolt ports. Officially, it can only power one external display. But I wondered, is that really it? So, I tried to push it further. First, I wirelessly connected the iPad via Sidecar, just like before. That gave me one external screen. I then tried to wirelessly connect a second MacBook via AirPlay to Mac. As soon as I did, the iPad Pro connection dropped. So no, the M1 Air can't do two AirPlay-based outputs simultaneously. Okay, so let's try Luna Display to connect that other Mac. It worked, but it occupied a Thunderbolt port for the dongle, leaving me with just one port. If I use that port for a wired Luna connection, I'd have no port left for another external display or even power input. That's when I realized I needed a USB-C hub. I grabbed a hub with HDMI, USB 3.0 ports, and Ethernet. I tried feeding Luna display data through USB. No luck. Luna requires a direct line. So I moved to Ethernet. Both Macs on the same network can reduce lag compared to Wi-Fi, though it's not as snappy as a Thunderbolt cable. That left my LG monitor. I plugged it into the hub's HDMI, but it wouldn't show. Turns out, Luna Display does count as an external monitor. The M1 MacBook Air's single external monitor limit was already used up, so it was either LG via HDMI or Luna Display, but not both at the same time. I wasn't giving up yet. I had a USB 3.0 to HDMI adapter that supports the DisplayLink protocol. Think of DisplayLink as a trick that bypasses the official monitor limit by running the video processing and software with a driver. It doesn't count against the Mac's external display slot. So I installed the DisplayLink driver on my M1 Air, plugged the adapter into the hub's USB 3.0 port, and suddenly my LG monitor lit right up, even though the resolution maxed around 2K. It's not perfect, but it's smooth enough for many tasks. By the way, if you're still wondering whether you can attach a fourth monitor to the M1 Pro setup, yes, DisplayLink could also come in handy there. But keep in mind, it has the same resolution caveats we just discussed. In the end, I had the M1 Air powering 3 external displays, the iPad via Sidecar, another Mac via Luna, and the LG monitor via DisplayLink. That's 4 screens total, counting the Air's own. It's quite an investment, though. Luna Display runs about $90. A DisplayLink adapter could be $40 or so, plus any cables or hubs. Yet for some people, especially if you have older Macs or iPads lying around, it can be worth it. And if you happen to own an older 4K or 5K iMac, turning that into a second monitor with Luna Display is an awesome way to breathe new life into it. So here's a concise table comparing the main approaches for multi-monitor setups on Apple Silicon Macs. Each has its pros, cons, and a note on whether it counts against Apple's official display limit. So, there you have it. Even though Apple says 1 or 2 displays only, you can get creative with Sidecar, Luna Display, and DisplayLink to push your Mac's multi-monitor setup beyond official boundaries. It all depends on your budget, resolution needs, and willingness to juggle adapters. I hope this exploration helps you see the possibilities. It's exciting to know that an M1 Air, normally so compact and modest, can run 3 extra displays with the right tools. Is it worth the extra gear? That's for you to decide. I'm only discussing technical feasibility here, so you're fully equipped to make that choice confidently.
Thank you for watching. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tech tips and tricks. See you in the next one.